Morning guys, welcome back to our European tour. We're already heading back to the UK, but that's because this portion of our trip was always going to be very short, only just a couple of months, because we need to be back in the UK for Camp Quirky in the beginning of May. So when we came down through France originally, we only stopped at a couple of places because we wanted to shoot all the way down to the Algarve and get some sunshine, and we didn't really spend much time taking in the scenery. So we've got about a week spare on the way back to the UK, so we're coming back up through France, and it would be criminal not to spend some more time. We're coming through Bordeaux, and it would be a shame to miss out on some wine tasting and see some of the vineyards. So we've jumped on the parkfornight.com app, and it's got a really good quick search feature on there. It lists all the campsites by category, and one category has got a little tractor symbol, and they're working farms or vineyards. Now in this area of France there are literally hundreds of vineyards, so you're not spoiled for choice of where you want to park. So we've looked up a particular vineyard that looks really interesting, so we're on our way there now. We've got about an hour and a half. It's a really sunny day, so why don't you come along with us and enjoy this trip. So here's where we park, guys. As I said, this is one of the places that's on parkfornight.com. There's about 3 or 4 spaces here, and it's in a beautiful garden area. And we're also surrounded by the vineyards and the forest. Lou mentioned that she was going to arrange a hen party around a van, but I didn't think this is what she had in mind. This is a perfect example of a free camping spot on the parkfornight.com app. It's a beautiful house and vineyards. I think you can actually stay here as a B&B. There are some photographs on the website. I'll put a little screenshot of those up after. There's a service point here just in front of that van where you can empty your grey water tanks and fill up with water. And then there's a hard standing parking spot here where the Sprinter is for probably 3 or 4 vans. And then of course you're overlooking the vineyards and the forest. Really beautiful, peaceful spot. We're parked on a little bit of a slope here at the vineyard, so it's always handy to carry a set of these ramps. We've got 2 of these that we put in the garage at the back, and it just helps to level out the van, particularly inside, like with the water running away in the shower and the sink, and it just helps when you're sleeping at night to be lying on a level ground. These ones have got 3 positions that you can roll up onto, so you can really get the van quite level. I'll put a link in the description of this video if you want to get a set of these yourself. They're not very expensive, and they're just handy to keep in the van for when you're in situations like this where you need to level it up. They have a service point on the vineyard, somewhere to empty your tanks and fill up with clean water. And this is their dog Gun. He's beautiful and so calm and placid. Lovely dog. Hey, beautiful. And of course we couldn't leave without purchasing some of the owner's wine that they produce here at the vineyard. That was a really nice little camp there, overnight spot, staying at the Maison de Grand Homme with the host Benoit and Maria. I mean, the only funny thing was I pulled up and in my broken sort of schoolboy French, you know, said hello and how are they, and that my name's Greg, and shook their hand and introduced myself, and then asked if they parlez-vous anglais, speak English, to which they both said no, no parler anglais. So there it was, we got to then try and suss out how we can talk to each other with my broken French, and yeah, using a little bit of Google Translate and some hand gestures, but it all worked out really fine. You know, I think Benoit, the owner of the vineyard, you know, tried really hard to sort of communicate in very simple French, which I could understand, and yeah, we got by and it was really good. A really nice little stop, and you know, it was a pleasure to buy some of their wine just to pay a little bit back and say thanks for allowing us to camp on basically their house and their home. So I'll put all the links in the description as usual if you want to check out that vineyard, but do make sure you brush up on your French before you go. So one of the things that France is really famous for are its beautiful chateaus, and we're driving up towards the Loire Valley when this region is famous for having some absolutely stunning chateaus, and this particular one that we're going to visit today is probably regarded as one of France's finest. Some of the photographs look absolutely amazing, so it should be really good to have a look at and take a walk around. We've got about a 200-kilometre drive, so it's going to be about 3 hours, nice and gently up through the Loire Valley, and then we'll show you around this absolutely stunning chateau. So here we are, guys, this is the Château Chenonceau. This is probably not the best view of it because the rest of the building spans over a bridge over the River Cher. I'll try and get another view from behind. So this is one of France's most famous chateaux. In the 16th century there was originally a castle here, and this was the fortress walls and this was the moat, and then it was demolished by the then owners to build the chateau, and the only thing that remains is the castle keep, which they renovated in a sort of Renaissance style, and then built the chateau and the bridge across the river. This is another perfect example of a free working vineyard. It's free to park here, there's free Wi-Fi as well. There's our Sprinter, there's a couple of bays here on this hard surface, and then just up that little gravel slope there is room for probably half a dozen more vans on that higher level up there. See, there's a little van conversion up there, and this is all part of a working vineyard. So here is where they do the wine tasting. There's like a little visitors centre. Up there you can probably hear the bottles jangling. They're busy bottling up today, so that's the main sort of working part of the farm. And then across this little river bridge they've got the caves, or the cellars, and you can do a tour of the cellars and also some wine tasting, and obviously they sell all of the wines here as well. It's a family run business, 2 brothers and a sister, and one of the brothers' son who does a lot of the work, and they all speak very good English and very friendly and welcoming. Highly recommend you stay here. So we're staying here on the parkfornight.com app at the Caves du Père Auguste. We're here in the cellar where they keep and store the wine, and we're just going to have a bit of a wine tasting here and obviously take some of the wine away with us. Wow, they've been there for a few years. I wonder what the wine's like inside though. As with all our previous videos, I'll put all the links in the description below if you'd like to stay here as well. It's actually only about 1 kilometre from the Château de Chenonceau, so you could actually park here and there's a nice sort of 15 to 20 minute stroll down to the chateau. And for the last leg of this trip into northern France, we pick another one of these parkfornight.com working farms. And this time it's a cider farm. We've got a short little 300-kilometre drive to get us to the cider farm, and then that'll leave us a little hop to Dieppe to get on the ferry to get home. So here you go guys, here's our last stop in France. We're on another working farm. It's such a gorgeous location. We're right out in the middle of nowhere. There's all just fields around us. All you can hear is tractor in the distance and the birds chirping. What an absolutely fabulous place to stay. There's the van there parked up in front of the converted barns. It's a beautiful little spot this. And then we're only about hour and a half or hour and 3/4 from Dieppe, so we're going to make a trip up there today, and at 6 o'clock we're due to catch the ferry. So even though this was just one night stay, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's such a beautiful location here. The grounds of this farm are so well looked after, and the owner has been really accommodating and so friendly. You know, we speak a little bit of French, we can get by maybe in a shop and so forth, but he's been able to chat to us quite easily in English, which really does help us. So if you want to stop on any of these places that we've shown you in this video, I'll leave some links in the description below for the GPS locations of where we stayed, but you can also just use the parkfornight.com app, and there's hundreds of these places all over Europe. we're on our way back to Dieppe. This is the last leg of our trip, or this particular section of the trip anyway. We've really enjoyed our time in Spain, France and Portugal. You know, we've gone from having a home in the UK and working full time to living in the van full time. But in this short 2-month period, we've really become accustomed to it, and we've both really thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, neither of us wanted this section of the trip to end. You know, it'd be really nice to see family and friends, but it's also really nice to be touring around Europe in the van and have that freedom just to go anywhere you want. We've only got about half an hour till we get to Dieppe. We'll be there about 1:30. Our ferry doesn't leave till 6 o'clock this evening, so we've got loads of time. We'll have a spot of lunch, park up on the seafront, and then just wait for the ferry home. So that's the end of this section, but it's not the end of the tour. We'll be back out in Europe in September, so you can look forward to more videos then. And in between times, I'm going to be putting out a lot more technical videos. I've had quite a few requests in the comments section below for more details on how the van's working out and what I do differently. So they're going to be the next videos coming up over the next couple of weeks. So make sure that you're subscribed, hit the notification bell so you'll get a notification as soon as I upload them. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.